control.
I can see that.
He's just so... One minute he thinks he's Victor Lord, the next he's the messenger of God. And just now he decided I was a thief and that I'd betrayed him and stolen all his money.
Does he have any significant assets left?
I don't know.
Well, if it's any consolation, it is unlikely he will lose an insanity plea.
Even if he's mad, he says such hurtful things.
You have to ignore them.
Miss Williamson, try to help him. I'll pay you. I'll get 2 jobs, 3 jobs, whatever it takes. Just please help him.
I'll do what I can.
Thank you. I don't know how much more of this life is taken.
Don't listen to him. He lied to me. He's not my brother, Miss Williams. Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone right there. Pick up the damn phone and talk to me.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna go check on Star. Well, I certainly hope that your client is still in jail.
Were you able to calm down, Mitch?
No, but he's not competent to stand trial, so any lawyer will be able to get him committed.
What do you mean, any lawyer?
Mitch fired me.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad. I guess I'll have to find some other way to help him. Excuse me.
The night court judge will grant bail. Your aunt will be free by 7:30.
And what am I supposed to do in the meantime? Go back downstairs with all those cockroaches?
That place is fumigated on a regular basis, Dorian.
I was speaking of my fellow inmates.
What's she doing here anyway, Bo? She's innocent.
It'll just be
Look, she has to stay because the law says so. End of discussion.
Now let's start over. Let's start with Dorian goes free. She didn't kill my brother.
And how would you know that?
Because I know who did. An assistant editor of The Sun, Annie Tunnock, found this a little while ago. It had been left on her desk, stuck between some press releases. Could have sat there for days. And then look at that date and timestamp.
Oh, she's wearing the famous scarf. Lindsay, she slipped out of St. Anne's and she murdered Mitch.
We don't know that, Dorian.
Well, you don't know it's not true either.
Look, that time code doesn't mean anything. Any 15-year-old can manipulate that.
As opposed to the rock-solid mountain of circumstantial evidence on which you charged my client. Has anyone questioned Lindsay Rappaport?
Ms. Rappaport is missing from St. Anne's. We assume that she escaped. And a search is underway.
Were you going to inform anyone of this fact? Which seems to me to have a very strong bearing on my client's case.
It proves Lindsay did it. It proves it.
Doesn't prove anything, Dorian.
All the same, I trust you will withdraw all charges against Mrs. Lawrence right now.
I'm sorry for the interruption, Commissioner. You got a minute?
Yeah.
Mrs. Lawrence, would you excuse us for a moment, please?
Of course.
Look, can we post someone to keep an eye on her?
Yeah, budget cuts. We're understaffed right now. Look, Dorian's not going anywhere.
You can't hold her anyway. Not now. You run the risk of the courts disallowing our current evidence and any subsequent action we might bring. Not to mention running the risk of a harassment suit.
Miss Williamson, your client's free to go. For now.
I owe it all to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello?
Mr. Lawrence, Evangeline Williamson, I have some information for you about your brother's estate. Any chance we could meet, say the Palace Restaurant? We could do it now if you happen to be free.
I'll be there as soon as I can. Okay, see you.
May I?
Thanks. You alone?
I'm meeting someone.
Well, you're right to the point then.
You'd be right. I bet you're right a lot.
Sorry. Got here as soon as I could.
I managed to keep myself occupied.
Well, thanks for your time. We'll talk again.
Okay, Mr. Lawrence, I have a copy of your brother's final will. It was apparently written after his wife and daughter fell out of favor, shall we say. He's left his entire estate to you. I don't know what it'll be worth after the government gets their cut, but...
And you get yours.
I know there is some real estate, a modest bank account, some personal effects. Oh, and there's one other thing. Safety deposit key. It was among his personal things at the police station.
What about the Baudrillard diamond?
That's evidence, I'm afraid. Not to mention the fact it's considered stolen property.
I wonder what's in here. Oh, Joy. What do you want?
Oh, it's nice to see you, too. I came to ask you some questions about Alyssa Collins.
I don't know.
Private investigator, pretty, big curly hair.
What about her?
She's missing. And her parents asked me to look into it, so I was wondering if you could help me out.
The only thing I know about Alyssa Collins is that she's annoying as hell, and she was nipping at my heels for months thanks to Kevin Buchanan.
Did she get anything on you?
Yeah, I think she spilled some guacamole in my shirt.
Funny. She has disappeared without a trace, and no one seems to know where she is.
Don't look at me. She is the worst PI I've ever seen. So, maybe someone else got annoyed with her.
She didn't get any secrets on you that you didn't want known?
I don't have any secrets.
Well, we'll see about that.
Thanks for coming. Next time, call.
Hey, Antonio, have you seen Blair?
She just left with Kevin.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about the mix-up the other night.
All right.
Oh, hey, you're pushing the speed limit for a pedestrian zone. What's with him?
My lawyer calls. You damn well better tell me. It's supposed to be in my honeymoon.
Looks like someone needs a lawyer. Well, Walker said he should.
Somebody gets thrown in the clink, you just happen to drop by. Well, you are an ambulance chaser.
Actually, I was here freeing a client. All charges dropped, incidentally. But if you want to alienate the best attorney in Landview, be my guest.
You're not serious about taking my case anyway, so...
You never know.
All right. Bo Buchanan dragged me in here to question me about that PI that was murdered.
Alyssa Collins.
I couldn't come up with an alibi.
Kevin Buchanan hired me to try to find her killer. Do you want to just confess and make my client happy?
I do. I want to make Kevin Buchanan happy. Except I'm not the killer.
We both know Miss Collins was investigating you. What'd you find? If it's significant, it could have been a motive for murder. Which means you better have a good lawyer.
How can that be you when you're representing the men who'd like to see me convicted?
I'm representing the man that wants this case solved as soon as possible, which is exactly the same thing that you want.
Except he's not being accused.
Know this. If I took this case, I would tell Kevin Buchanan everything I found out and use that exact same information to try to clear you. There's no conflict of interest on my part.
What if Kevin didn't like it?
He'll be fine with it.
Because he wants what I want. One big problem, though. Some of the things he wants, I'm not willing to share. Now, how would you like your retainer? Cash?
I'm flexible. Whatever works for you.
What works for me is getting the hell out of here.
Give me an alibi for the night Miss Collins was killed, and I'll spring you in 5 minutes.
I don't have one. That'll be your first job. Buy me one.
Why would I have to buy you an alibi? Ugh. Did you kill Alyssa Collins?
I did not kill Alyssa Collins. So why don't you get out there and buy me an airtight alibi?
Assuming that were ethical or legal, it would still be a bad idea. Now I want the truth or I walk. Where were you the night Alyssa Collins was killed?
All right. I was purchasing an illegal handgun.
That is really cute. Make up the lie you can't even use. What could you possibly have been doing that night that's worth conviction for a murder you didn't commit? You know, that's the beauty of the adversarial system. I defend you, guilty or not, because everyone's entitled to the best defense.
I believe I've heard that story once before from another female lawyer. Didn't work out so well for me that time either.
Beg your pardon?
Never mind. Long time ago.
Look, the truth is, I don't actually think you did it.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm very touched. I'm very moved.
Look, the police have held back so many details from the Music Box murders, you'd have to be a mind reader to have pulled off a real copycat killing. So forget the false alibi. We'll leave the burden of proof where it belongs, on the prosecution.
Now, there's a brilliant strategy.
Well, it beats the hell out of perjury. Look, if you didn't actually commit the murders, the police won't be able to prove you did.
They could always manufacture evidence.
I don't think Commissioner Buchanan or Agent McBain actually think you did it. You know, much less that you're some kind of serial killer.
That's nice. What about the new DA? He could still indict me.
I'll get it tossed.
Whatever, just get me out of here.
I'll do what I can.
If you can't get me out of here, find out where Dorian Lord is.
Why?
Just do it. And after you find Dorian, get in touch with Blair. She's up there waiting for me at Saranac. All right? Tell her I've been detained, please.
Why don't you just tell your wife the truth? I'm sure she'll come right down.
You're not going to tell her anything. Tell her something came up. Tell her I'll see her whenever you think I'll see her.
I'll see what I can do.
That's gotta be tough, Commissioner, not having a suspect behind bars. Of course, it might be easier next time if you had the guy that really did it.
You're getting out. Why don't you just leave it at that?
You know, if your client's smart, he's gonna listen to you. Because I'm not sold on his alibi. He's still a suspect. I could lock him up in a cell right now. And you cannot believe just how much Walker here hates to be locked up.
What are you trying to say?
Ask your client.
I believe we had a deal.
Does someone want to let me in on whatever the big secret is?
Forget it. Why don't you go ahead and take care of the rest of his paperwork before I change my mind. Manning, I swear.
Keep your voice down. Please.
Don't call me that, please.
Listen to me. I didn't rape my wife. This is crazy. Just get me out of here.
Who said I'm taking this case?
You'll get your fee. Just get me out on bail and give me a phone. I need to speak with my children.
Forget that, Todd. There's not a chance.